So I had this moment recently,
Yeah.
a real moment of just, well, absolute awe. I was just sitting there talking to my computer,
Right, like we all do these days.
but I was not chatting with a normal web bot. I was commanding a customized desktop agent. It was literally building things for me in real time.
That is always such a trip to experience.
It really is. The mouse was just moving on its own. Code was executing. And I did not write a single line of code myself.
It really does feel like science fiction, doesn't it? That shift from typing to just speaking is wild.
It totally changes everything about how we interact with machines. So welcome to this deep dive.
We are incredibly glad you are joining us today.
We really are. Today, we are unpacking a fascinating step-by-step guide. It shows you how to build a personal AI assistant.
Basically, think of it as your own personal Jarvis.
Exactly. We are going from a totally blind folder to a fully operational companion. And we're doing it using an AI tool called Cursor.
And we are relying on just 3 massive prompts to do it.
Yeah, which is crazy to think about. Building a custom desktop agent used to require an entire engineering team.
Oh, absolutely no. It is entirely accessible right now to almost anyone.
But, before getting to the autonomous magic, we need a foundation. We have to lay down the building blocks first.
Right. We cannot just jump straight into the voice commands.
Exactly. So let's talk about the stack.
The tech stack here is actually quite simple. You only need 4 core tools to make this entire system work.
We mentioned Cursor already. Cursor is an AI code editor that essentially writes software for you.
It handles all the heavy lifting of the actual build. Next, you need an OpenAI API key.
Right. And an API key is just a secret password to access AI features.
That is a great way to put it. That specific key connects your new assistant to GPT Realtime 2.
Which is the engine giving it live voice capabilities, right?
Exactly. You also need something called the EXA API that handles the live web searches later on.
And finally, a framework called Electron. We will get to how that works in just a second.
But first, you need a clean workspace to start. You start by downloading Cursor to your machine. You sign in and open their agent's window. Then you just create a brand new empty folder.
The guide suggests naming it Riley Custom Jarvis. This folder will eventually hold your full desktop application.
Yeah, it becomes the home base. Then you grab your OpenAI API key.
Which you just generate directly on their developer website.
Right. Now, if you are familiar with tech, you already know this. But you must treat this key exactly like your bank password.
Right, because if that key leaks out into the
Right,
world...
people can rack up massive bills on your account.
Very quickly. So keep it completely secure locally.
Always. So we have our blank folder ready.
We have our secure API keys locked and loaded. Now comes the first big prompt to the system.
This is where the magic really starts happening. You do not just ask Cursor for a basic chatbot.
Right, you go way big.
You give it one massive, highly detailed set of instructions. You explicitly ask it to build a companion named Ricky.
And you request GPT Realtime 2 voice chat integration. Plus, you specifically mandate interruption support.
Yes. Interruption support is absolutely crucial for a voice agent.
Because otherwise it just talks over you.
Exactly. It means you can cut the AI off while it is speaking. It stops talking immediately, listens, and pivots.
It makes the conversation feel truly human and natural. You also ask for an animated face on the interface.
Right. It needs to blink naturally. It needs to show different moods. It has to lip sync to the audio.
And you want a very clean user interface, too. You ask for a primary companion window and an artifact panel.
That artifact panel is vital. It separates the conversation from the actual data it fetches.
You also request specific tool integrations in this prompt. Web search, using that EXA API. Image generation capabilities.
Plus, full support for Mermaid diagrams.
Right, and Mermaid diagrams are visual charts generated directly from simple text.
You put all of those complex requirements into one strong prompt. Then you just let Cursor do the actual coding.
And you want to use the strongest model available for this step, right?
Oh, definitely. The guide used GPT 5.5 High for this initial run because this first build has an incredible amount of moving parts.
Using Cursor is honestly like having a senior developer sitting next to you. It is like stacking Lego blocks of data.
I love that analogy.
You just describe the house, then they pour the concrete.
That is a perfect way to visualize it.
Yeah.
You act as the architect, and the AI acts as the builder.
How long does that usually take?
It takes about 10 to 15 minutes to run. It has to wire up the voice model securely.
Right, it is building the user interface entirely from scratch.
It creates the animated face and connects all those tool systems. When it finishes, you have a working talking version.
Your desktop companion can react to your voice immediately. But before we move on, I want to clarify one specific tool.
Sure, what is up?
Why exactly is Electron needed in this stack?
Well, Electron is a framework that packages web code into normal desktop software. It takes the web-based code Cursor just wrote and makes it native.
So it packages web code to run like normal desktop software.
Exactly. It makes Ricky feel like a real application, not just a browser tab.
Okay, so our concrete is finally poured. The first build is complete.
But like any prototype, it is going to be rough around the edges.
Yeah, the first test always reveals where the real work is.
The voice chat and the basic animations usually work great out of the gate. Ricky blinks, listens, and answers questions fairly naturally.
He can list out what he is capable of doing.
And the Mermaid diagrams usually render fine after a tiny adjustment, but other things will inevitably fail on the first try.
In the guide, the web search failed entirely initially.
Right. The exit API key was simply missing from the underlying code.
2 sec silence, which is completely normal for AI coding. Your first build just proves the core application actually works.
The second build is about making that system reliable. And here is where the strategy shifts.
You don't just go in and tinker.
Right. You do not fix these tiny bugs one by one. You give Cursor another massive revision prompt.
You outline all the main problems together in one go. You tell it to fix the Mermaid parse errors.
You tell it to properly integrate the exit API key. You demand that both tools execute flawlessly every single time.
This is also when you completely overhaul the interface.
Yeah, the first version usually looks like a clunky prototype.
Yeah.
You want to ask for a very clean 50-50 layout.
Face on the left, artifacts on the right. Simple, elegant buttons resting cleanly at the bottom.
And you want to remove all those messy, prototype-looking, rounded boxes. You have to make the assistant feel highly useful.
Because cluttered interfaces make the AI feel much less capable psychologically.
Exactly.
But, I have to push back on this approach for a second.
Okay, lay it on me.
Is it really effective to send one massive error correction prompt? I usually prefer fixing things line by line myself.
A lot of developers do.
Because if you change too much at once, things tend to break.
It definitely feels risky if you're used to traditional coding, but modern models actually prefer holistic context.
Really?
Yeah. When you give it all the errors at once, it sees the entire system. It understands how a broken search function affects the user interface layout.
Right. And it can adjust the dependencies all at once.
Exactly. It connects those dots much better than isolated piecemeal fixes. Next, you need to upgrade the actual output style.
Because web search formatting is usually a massive problem initially, right?
Oh, huge. The AI often tries to display search results in heavy data tables.
And tables can feel visually overwhelming. They are really hard to read quickly on a screen.
So you tell Cursor to stream results as clean Markdown instead. Markdown is a lightweight formatting style, keeping plain text highly readable.
It streams those results directly into the artifact panel.
And the answer looks fast, clean, and incredibly easy to scan. You also add specific voice commands during this massive revision.
A great one is programming it to respond to "show me the menu."
That specific command opens a simple visual list of its capabilities.
You also use this prompt to smooth out the mouth animations, because the first version usually just flaps the mouth open and closed randomly.
It looks a bit like a cheap puppet. The revision makes it feel much closer to actual human speech.
Better timing and smoother movements make a huge psychological difference. At this point, Ricky is becoming a very useful tool.
He talks, he searches, and he presents results clearly.
Beat. But let's clarify that formatting choice for a second. Why is clean Markdown preferred over data tables for search results?
Oh, well, Markdown just flows better natively. Tables force your eyes into a rigid grid, which slows down reading.
Right. Markdown keeps text flowing smoothly without feeling visually overwhelming.
Exactly. Rapid readability is absolutely key for a desktop assistant.
So, now that Ricky looks good, we want him to act. We need to let him actually control the desktop environment.
This brings us to a feature called computer use mode.
Which is huge.
It is.
Yeah.
This is what lets Ricky interact directly with your operating system. He can open applications.
He can click around the screen autonomously. He can type directly into a tool called Codex.
And Codex is just a programming environment where AI interacts with your system. He can submit complex prompts entirely driven by your voice commands.
But there is a massive frustrating problem in the first version, the dreaded approval loop.
It is the worst. The system pauses before every single autonomous action it takes.
It stops to ask for explicit confirmation, just to start typing.
Then it asks for another confirmation just to press the Enter key. It might pause yet again before submitting a final prompt.
It completely breaks the flow of having a natural voice agent. I still wrestle with prompt drift myself,
It happens to all of us.
Getting frustrated when my own AI tools constantly pause to ask for permission. It just ruins the momentum.
It makes the tool feel broken, tedious, and heavy. A voice agent is supposed to be entirely hands-free.
Right. If you have to click approve constantly, it defeats the purpose. So the fix here is another direct prompt to Cursor.
You tell the builder to find where that approval requirement lives in the code. You direct it to completely remove that blocker for trusted local actions.
The assistant must be able to type and submit smoothly. It should execute everything immediately after your original voice command.
We want the assistant to be safe, obviously, but constant confirmation ruins the entire user experience.
It totally breaks the illusion of a helpful companion.
You also need a major UI adjustment for this specific mode. That large 50/50 window we built earlier gets in the way here.
Right, you cannot actually see your desktop if Ricky is blocking half the screen.
So you prompt Cursor to dynamically change the application layout. When in computer use mode, it becomes a small translucent overlay instead.
It just sits quietly down in the bottom left corner of your screen.
It features one clear button to return to the normal 50/50 mode.
This lets you see the full desktop while Ricky does the actual work. You speak, it acts in the background, and you stay in control.
You do not have to babysit every single mouse click it makes.
Quick question about removing those confirmation blockers, though. Is it a security risk to let the AI act autonomously on your machine?
It is definitely a balance. You only remove those blockers for specific, highly trusted local actions. You keep strict safeguards in place for things like deleting files or sending emails.
Got it, safety first. But your trusted local apps get a fast pass.
Exactly. You want speed and fluidity where it is completely safe to do so. Sponsor break. Sponsor break ends.
So with that heavy friction removed, we can finally build a true workflow.
We can chain these isolated abilities together beautifully. This is where we build the voice-controlled creative workstation.
Specifically, a voice-driven thumbnail generator.
Yes. You use your voice to generate and edit images entirely hands-free.
Think about the old way. Opening an image tool, typing prompts manually, downloading files, and editing them again and again.
It takes forever. Now you just talk to Ricky naturally.
You say what you want, and he generates a thumbnail instantly.
Then you keep refining and editing that image purely by voice. But there is a crucial UI rule required to make this work well.
The guide refers to it as the grid system.
Right. You have the AI display the generated images in a clean, numbered grid. You show exactly 3 images per row on the screen.
And the newest image is always automatically placed at position number 1. Plus, every single image on the screen gets a specific visible number.
This numbering system is what enables true voice editing capabilities. Without visible numbers, the assistant simply does not know which image you mean.
With those numbers, you can speak incredibly naturally to the system. You can just say, add blue sunglasses to number 2.
Or you can say something like, pull up photo 13. The assistant keeps the entire visual history visible for you at all times.
You can easily compare different versions and revert to previous results seamlessly.
You can tell it, make 3 more versions of number 1. And Ricky is not just a simple image bot either.
Because of how we built the stack, you can combine tools in one single session. You can ask him to search the web for reference material first.
He can summarize those findings directly in that artifact panel we built. Then he can generate a brand new thumbnail based on that specific summary.
He can even draw a Mermaid workflow diagram explaining his exact steps. All of this happens smoothly in one continuous conversation.
It is honestly incredible to watch.
Whoa. Imagine scaling to 1 billion queries just speaking to the corner of your screen while it builds a whole project.
It really turns a simple chatbot into a real creative workstation. It saves an immense amount of manual tool switching and cognitive load.
You just speak your thoughts, review the grid, and edit by number. It is a completely fluid, frictionless creative process.
I do want to highlight one specific design choice there, though.
Sure, go ahead.
Why must the newest generated image always be at number one?
Well, you don't want to hunt through a grid for your latest generation.
Right.
Makes sense. The freshest idea is always front and center for immediate feedback.
Exactly. It keeps the momentum going perfectly.
Let us zoom out for a second and recap this core journey. We started with a completely blank workspace folder today.
We ended with a fully functioning custom desktop agent, a personal system that talks naturally and physically controls your mouse.
It searches the web, edits images, and completely bypasses the annoying approval loop.
We built the entire thing with just 3 prompts and 0 coding.
It really proves that building a Jarvis is no longer a massive undertaking.
Tools like Cursor and GPT Realtime 2 make it accessible to everyone. The first version you build will absolutely not be perfect at all.
And honestly, that is completely fine. You start with the basic application structure.
You test what works, and you use holistic prompts to fix what breaks. Then you keep adding the specific tools that matter most to your workflow.
You can add email, deep research, reporting, or even Slack integrations.
Because the real value here is not just having a fun toy chatbot. It is building a highly personal system to get real work done faster.
We want to leave you with something to really think about today. If you were to build your own custom Ricky tonight,
what hyper-specific, tedious task in your daily life would you automate first?
Is it sorting through hundreds of daily emails? Researching competitors?
Scraping data out of endless Slack channels?
Imagine delegating that entire burden to a secure voice in the corner of your screen, a voice you built yourself, perfectly tailored to how you think and work. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.